Hello and welcome to this gentle morning practice to start up your day. Personally, I do a variation of this practice almost every morning and I decided to invite you in and join me. Let's begin. So we're going to start on all fours. We are slowly going to open our knees to the width of the mat and join our toes together. You can try sit back on top of your heels. If you can't sit all the way, that's absolutely fine. And then slowly walk your arms forward. Rest your forehead on the mat or on a block if the mat is too low. There is no right or wrong here. And breathe deeply into the belly, into the low back. Try to release any tension around your shoulders. Relax your arms. And just stay here for a few moments, taking deep, deep breaths. Expanding the low back. You can imagine that you're inflating a balloon in your belly. You're trying to expand your low back and your sides. Deep breaths here. And with the next inhale, we're going to round the back and slowly we'll start lifting up back onto all fours. We're going to put our knees right underneath our hips and our wrists right underneath our shoulders. Okay, dip the chin very slightly here and kind of pull forward or reach forward with the crown of head. As you inhale, open the chest, send the shoulders back a little bit. And as you exhale, round the low back, pull the belly button in. Inhale, open the chest, send the sternum forward and the collarbones back in space. Exhale, round the low back. Imagine someone pulling you up from your tailbone. Inhale, forward. Exhale, round. A couple more times on your own, at your own pace. You can go as quickly or as slow as you wish. Just make sure to join the movement with the breath. Inhale, open. Exhale, round. A couple more times. With the next inhale, come back to neutral with your spine long. And we're going to try some intuitive movement now. So what I'd ask you to do, just start moving your spine in whatever way feels good in your body at the moment. You can make tiny movements, just that movements that are barely visible or noticeable, or you can make big sweeping left and right, up and down movements, whatever feels good. Just listen to your body. Wake up the spine, wake up the big joints. Try to link your movement with your breath. Move intuitively. There we go. Slowly come back to center. Make sure your wrists are right underneath your shoulders again and your knees are right underneath your hips. And as we inhale, we're going to lift the left arm up, and as we exhale, we're going to thread the left arm underneath the right and rest on top of the left shoulder. You can either keep your right arm or your right palm in front of your face, or you can extend the right arm forward. Or another version is you can fold, or you can place the right hand on top of your low back, whatever feels good for you. Try to make sure that your hips are at the same level, and breathe. Slowly place your right hand in front of your face, and as you inhale, lift back up to all fours. With the next inhale, reach up with the right arm, and as you exhale, thread the right arm underneath the left and rest on top of the right shoulder. If you can't place your shoulder all the way down, that's absolutely fine. Just keep your left hand in front of your face and go as low as you can. Listen to your body, okay? Again, you can reach your left arm forward, or you can place the left hand on top of your low back. And breathe. And slowly return the left hand in front of your face. And as you inhale, lift up very slowly back onto all fours. Take a deep breath in here. And as you exhale, start slowly walking your hands forward. Make sure to keep your hips and your knees level here. And just walk the arms and the upper body forward. Maybe you will be able to rest your forearms on the mat. Maybe you will be able to go a bit lower and rest your forehead on top of the mat as well. Wherever your body lets you is okay. Again, you can use a yoga block or a book to rest your forehead on top of, okay? Choose whichever version is more comfortable for you. And breathe deeply. Puppy pose. I'm sure you've seen doggies doing this very often. We're opening the chest here, releasing tension from the shoulders. Breathe. And with the next inhale, slowly lift the forehead up and start walking your hands back in space, back onto all fours. There we go. Take a deep breath in here. Fold your toes under. Another big inhale. And as you exhale, start slowly lifting your knees and lifting your hips up and back in space, as if you wanted to reach your hips where the ceiling meets the back wall. Take a couple of steps here. Just walk it a little bit. Push away from the hands. And then as you inhale, slowly walk your feet forward into a forward fold. You can bend your knees deeply here. Okay, try to release your upper body into the fold. Soften your shoulders, relax your arms, your head and your neck. Let gravity do all the work for you here. You can imagine you're a rag doll and you're just hanging there. Notice the sensations in your upper body. And breathe. And with the next inhale, start slowly lifting up the torso so it's parallel to the floor. Rest your hands on top of your thighs and breathe here for a few moments. Try to send your shoulders back in space. Dip the chin slightly and reach forward with the crown of the head. Breathe. Here we're looking for a long, straight spine, so it's better to go a little bit higher with a straight back than to be parallel but rounded. Okay, so if you're here, that's completely fine. And breathe. Exhale, start rounding back down into a forward fold. Take a couple more breaths here. Again, you can keep your knees bent if you'd like. A deep inhale through the nose. And then as you exhale, start very slowly rolling the spine up, vertebra by vertebra. Very, very slowly. Shoulders and the head go last. There we go. Lovely. If you're like me, your head might be spinning a little bit, so give yourself time. There's no rush. And then as you inhale, open your arms to the side and then bring them up. You can grab your left wrist with your right hand. And as you exhale, tilt to the right. The movement here is coming from the waist up. So we want to keep the hips and the knees as they are. Movements coming from the center of the body. And breathe. Inhale, come back to center and just switch. So take your right wrist with your left. Inhale, get long. And as you exhale, tilt to the left. Again, the movement is coming from the center of the body, from the waist up. Both feet are firmly rooted into the ground. Knees are slightly bent. Hips are leveled. And inhale, come back to center. Release the arms as you exhale. Back down. There we go. Come back to the front of the mat. Take a deep breath in. Bring the arms up. As you exhale, round forward. Place your hands on top of the mat and walk the feet back into a plank pose. Take a couple of breaths here, again making sure that your wrists and your shoulders are in one line, and breathe. And with the next exhale, start slowly lifting the hips up and sending them up and back in space into a downward facing dog. And then as you inhale, start walking the right foot forward in between the hands. Place the left knee down and slowly lift up into a low lunge. You can put your hands on your hips and breathe here. You want to make sure that your right knee is at a 90-degree or a bigger angle. We don't want a sharp knee here, okay? And breathe. Then as you exhale, place your hands back into the mat. Lift the left knee up. And as you inhale, reach up with the right arm. Open into the side and breathe. We want to make sure that our left hand is firmly planted into the ground, that the left elbow is a little bit bent. We don't want to be locking the elbow, and that it's turned inside a little bit. And breathe. Exhale, come back down, place the left knee onto the mat and walk the right knee back in space. Okay. Take a couple of breaths here. And then again, tuck your toes under, take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, start lifting the knees, lifting the hips up and back in space. Downward facing dog. Take a couple of breaths here. And with the next inhale, start walking the left foot forward in between the hands. Rest the right knee and the right foot on the mat and slowly lift up into a low lunge. Again, you can place your hands on top of your hips, making sure your knee is 90 degrees or more. You can imagine sending your left hip back in space while sending the right hip to the front a little bit so they're nice and leveled. Both hips are facing forward in this pose, okay? And breathe. Make sure that your pelvis is nice and neutral. We don't want to be doing this with our low back. We want to make sure the core is engaged and that we're lifting up, reaching up through the crown of head. And then as you exhale, place your hands into the mat, lift the right knee, and as you inhale, reach up with the left arm. You can either look at the left hand right in front of you or down to the mat, depending on your cervical spine. Again, we want to make sure that our right hand is firmly planted into the ground. Our right elbow is a little bit bent and facing inside, okay? And breathe. Exhale, place the left hand back into the mat and step out into a downward facing dog. Again, a couple of breaths here. As you inhale, slowly transfer the weight forward. Exhale, place your knees into the ground and slowly come to lie on the mat. As you inhale, slowly lift your head, your shoulders and your chest up. Move your arms forward in space, Sphinx pose. Here we want to make sure that we don't feel any tension in our low back. So in case you're feeling tension there, just slide your arms forward a little bit. Even if you're here, that's more than enough. Okay, it's not necessary to have the elbows right underneath the shoulders. Okay? Listen to your body. Dip the chin slightly here and again reach up with the crown of head. And breathe. You also want to make sure you're not falling into your shoulders. You're not just hanging there. You want to lift up. And deep, deep breaths here. And slowly lower yourself down. You can rest your forehead on top of your folded hands and just take a couple of breaths here. Try to be aware of every point of contact with the mat. Inhale, slowly place your hands right underneath your shoulders and start lifting up. And continue back to sit on your knees. Melt the heart forward. Release the tension from the shoulders, from the arms, and just relax into the pose if you can. I'm going to and breathe deeply. At the beginning we did a child's pose with the knees wide, but this time we're keeping them close together as a counter pose to the Sphinx pose. Deep, deep breaths here. And with the next inhale, start rounding back up, lifting up. First into all fours, and then we're going to come first into seated. And we're almost done. It's just our final relaxation. So take a deep breath in, get long. And as you exhale, start slowly lowering down onto your back. Very, very slowly, gently. Extend your legs, extend your arms along the body. Make space for yourself. You can either turn your palms up towards the ceiling if you feel like you need to energize a little bit, if you need to recharge and download some energy. Or you can turn the palms down if you feel like you need to ground. If it's comfortable and feels safe to you, you can close your eyes or you can keep them open. Just soften your gaze, focus it into one spot. Try to release any remaining tension in your body. Just melt into the mat, into the floor. Root into the ground. We're going to stay here for a minute or two, just here and now, breathing. You can slowly start moving your toes and your fingers, your wrists and your ankles. Stretch in any way you feel like your body needs to. And then if you wish, you can pull your knees into your chest, give yourselves a nice little hug. Say thank you to yourself for taking the time to do something good for your body, for your mind. And whenever you're ready, you can roll onto your right side and stay here for a few more moments. And then slowly push yourself away from the floor and back into seated. You can keep your eyes closed if you wish for a few more moments. And just observe your body and your breath for a while here. Try to notice any change that may have occurred. can slowly blink your eyes open. There we go. I hope you enjoyed this practice and I wish you a wonderful day. See you soon. Bye. Also, if you've enjoyed that, there's a big chance you would love Balance Your Act, which is our little community for creatives by creatives, where we combine conscious movement, meditation, inner work, and a lot of creativity. Link in the description below. See you there. Bye. This is so weird.